Now, dear students, now we will discuss few of the options that are given by the KiCad, options that are related to this appearance section on the right side. Over here under the appearance section you can see three more sections, like this one is the layer section, then objects, then nets. The first thing we will discuss now are the layers. Layers, actually these are all the list of layers given in the layer section that combined to form a PCB. You can see this one PCB. All these layers are present in this PCB. So the layers which are written like .cu, which means that these are copper layers. This board has two copper layers. This one is front copper layer, this one is back copper layer or the bottom copper layer. Then there comes the front adhesive and back adhesive, front paste, back paste, and this is the front silk screen and back silk screen, which means these are actually the graphic layers. All the designators that are written on the PCB will be shown in front silk screen and back silk screen. We also have front mask, back mask, and user drawing layers and user command echo one. These are all the list of layers. The front courtyard and back courtyard, and the most important layer is the edge cut layer that defines the physical dimension of the board. So over here you can even switch off or hide your copper layer, like let's say it is front copper layer. If I click on this little icon and if I click on this will hide the front copper layer, and if I click on bottom copper layer, and you can see a dash on this, which means that bottom copper layer is now hidden. Similarly, I can hide any of the layers, like just clicking on this, and if you want to see your layer, just click again so that it switches on the display of that layer. On the with these layers you can see over here, these are colors like red, blue. These are actually the colors of the layers. You can check over here. If you click on the front copper and let's say if you draw some track, you can see this is in red color, and if you choose bottom copper and draw some track, you can see this is in blue color. So the color only specifies that in which layer you are working. Let's just select this, hit delete to delete these items. Beneath this layer you can see over here layer display options, which says that what should happen with the inactive layers, like they should remain as it is, or you can dim it, or you can even hide it. So let's say if I choose hide, and let's just click on this bottom copper layer, and you see that there is no bottom copper layer. So if you select dim for the inactive layer, you can see that there is layer but it has now been dimmed. And if you click on normal, you can see that you can see your bottom copper layer now. So the layer display options only help us to indicate what should we do with the inactive layers. Let's just switch this on. The next thing is flipboard view. If you click on this flipboard view, this will flip your board. Let's say if I click on this, you can see that now I am seeing the bottom side of my PCB, and if I uncheck this, you can see this is the top side of my PCB, which is facing towards me. If I click on the flipboard, now this is the bottom side of my PCB. So let's just flip it again. These are preset about the layers. You can check over here. The next thing is viewport. You can save and delete viewport. Viewport is actually the section you are seeing over here. Let's say if I let's say front copper, and let's say this is some IC that is connected over here, which I have just selected. Let's say on the click of single button, I can switch my view to this IC. So let's say now I go to viewport, and click on save port, and let's say IC, or I can write over here U1 IC, and let's hit OK to save our viewport. And next time, and let's just choose this, let's just fit to sheet, and again I want to zoom this, the view I have just saved. Simply go to viewport and click on this U1 IC. You can see that the stage, the section which I have zoomed and just saved, on a click of single button I have just zoomed that IC again. Similarly, let's say I want to see this section over here, and on a click of button I can again save a viewport. Click on save viewport, and I say like U9 and hit OK. And let's just fit to sheet, and if I want to see again U9, click on this, and now you see that my saved viewport has now appeared. If you want to delete the viewport, click on delete viewport, click select and hit OK. Again, if you want to delete this one also, click delete viewport, click U1 and U1 IC viewport and hit OK. Now you have deleted all the viewports. The next thing is the objects. Objects are actually the tracks, vias, pads, zones, images, footprint, all these things. You can change the opacity of your tracks by you can set the opacity of your track by this tool. Similarly, you can set the opacity of your vias. You can see that on the screen the opacity of vias is changing. Similarly, you can do it for pads. So these are the settings of for objects. And the next thing is the net. The net, these are all the list of nets that are present in the PCB. You can even check the specification for this net by going over here, show the net inspector, click on this, and you can see over here that it says that we have a ground net, and ground net had 217 pad count, and it has track length of 5.53 to 5 mm, and die length and total length, front copper and bottom copper. These are all the specifications of these nets. Even you can see over here, if I click on this and I can highlight those nets, you can see over here. Let's just now this way you can click and you can see that the net I am selecting gets highlighted on the PCB. Let's just close this. These are net classes. One is default, the next is potential, which is used in this PCB. Similarly, net display options, net color, and reference display options. There are few preset options which we have discussed. And the next thing is the selection filter. Selection filter means, let's say if I click on this, wait a minute, if I click on this connector, the connector gets highlighted. Similarly, if I click on this, the connector gets highlighted. If I click on MCU, it says footprint, it gets highlighted. Now if I uncheck all these, then I cannot select any of the thing, because I have unchecked all the things in selection filter. Let's say I can only select footprints. So if I check the footprints, and let's click on this, and my footprints get selected. You can see over here. If I say tracks, then I can select the tracks as well as the footprints also. So this is only selection filter. Those things which you do know while designing the PCB, if you want to do not select accidentally another item which you do not want to do anything with that item, You can simply check, uncheck and check boxes, these boxes as per your requirement. So for the current setting, you can select all items, so that you can easily select any other things, like you can set tracks, you can even select components. So hopefully you have understood the appearance section of KiCad, which has subsections of layers, objects and nets, as well as the selection filter.